Jeffrey complains that he's lonely, but he never admits why that is. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He's a low-value man with low-quality hobbies. Adonis. Adonis has to fight off the women. He's a high-value man, and he does exciting things which naturally attracts women towards him. We're going to talk about sexual market value, SMV. So your SMV, your sexual market value, is kind of like the currency, the money that you bring to the table in terms of dating and intimacy. It's what you have to offer. Your SMV is about 2 out of 10 right now. And I know you're thinking, well, Hamza, it's not that low. It is. You're young, you're not very confident, you're kind of ugly, your breath kind of stinks, you haven't flossed your teeth in a while, you haven't had much experiences, you don't really do anything fun, you spend all of your time on the computer. Right now you've got really shit posture, and now you've just fixed your posture, which actually just showed me that your frame's kind of weak as well. Your SMV, after a few years of self-improvement, will bump up to 5 out of 10. And that's when you actually start to attract some girls. Because at this point, you're a few years older, a few years of self-improvement, which means that you've got more muscle, more confidence, more experience. You've probably made more money. You've got a better career and a better social circle. Now I'm going to tell you a very, very important difference between men and women. But first, my name is Hamza. I help young men go through the Jeffrey to Adonis transformation through self-improvements. You're clearly interested in that. So if you scroll down right now, click on the subscribe and the post notification button. You'll get a message from my next upload, and it's a win-win for both of us. The one major difference between men and women is that women's SMV, sexual market value, is inherited. They are just born with it. They naturally get their SMV. Because as men, sexually, we are attracted to what they look like and their potential for fertility, like their potential to make us children. That's it. Women are attracted to a wide range of things. They want to know your status, your money, your confidence, your experiences. Are you a risk taker? Do you take challenges? They want to know a lot of different things about you, and that they build up this nice mysterious picture of you. There is no man who thinks, oh, I hope she takes risks. I hope she's got a business. It's like, it's sometimes nice to think, okay, a woman's got ambitions, and that's awesome, but that's not exactly what we hugely value. And so that means that as a young man, you're going to experience a skew of value at this age where the women around you already have their value. They already have high SMV, whereas you right now have the lowest SMV of your entire life as long as you don't do anything very, very stupid in the future. This is a graph by Rollo Tomasi, and it's a very, very famous graph in the Red Pill. And it shows that women have already reached their peak SMV by the time they hit puberty. But for men at this age, when you're roughly 20, you're pretty much at the lowest level because you ain't shit at this point. If our SMV is built, not inherited, it takes us 10 to 20 years to build that. And that's just there so simply shows you where you're struggling with women is because you haven't had enough time and enough life experiences to build up that SMV. And the women around you that you're trying to attract are at their peak right now. So there is hope. It's just, you have to put in the work. And now most guys will click off. Most guys will be, oh, okay, black pill it is then. I'm not going to do work. Shut up, Hamza. Why would I delay gratification for my future self? They can go away if they want. You're here because you wanted to do the work anyway. Well, here is your hope that when you are 30 and you're jacked, when you're 35 and you're financially free, your SMV is through the roof to the point that you wouldn't even be able to understand. That's when you should be attracting the level of women that you want to attract right now. Because when I was about 17, I adopted this very, very positive mindset that got me through some shit. And I hope to give this to you. I started lifting weights in the gym. I saw a little bit of progress in my body, and it really hit me. You can make progress. You can make a positive difference in your life. The only way is up. If you are a loser like I used to be, and you spend all of your time leveling up in video games instead of in real life, and terrible in your studies, no real career or business lined up, kind of stupid, low quality habits, and if you're living a life like that, as long as you keep this positive mindset, you will reach a good peak. It's just that it takes many, many years, and too many men just give up. But fuck them. Do you know what? This channel is not for every man. This channel is for the very small percentage of men who actually want that big peak, that big increase, who have got hope and faith for it. It's not my job to convince a man that self-improvement works. If you need to be convinced that self-improvement works, you're probably too far gone. And so you're already here because you know that it works, because either you've seen it in your life or you haven't seen it just yet, but you do truly believe that someone like me isn't exactly lying to you, and you can see through the evidence, the pictures and the videos that I've put up of myself and the stories that I give that it does work. And I'm 24. Look at the graph again. Like my SMV should be pretty much as low as it possibly could be. Like the only way is up from here. What's life going to be like in a few years? It is exciting to think that. And I think my channel and at least my basis for self-improvement. We're never supposed to say this because everyone will crucify you. Like, I don't do things for women. I do it for my... Shut up, bro. At least I started self-improvement to get girls. I started lifting to get girls. Of course, my purpose for it has changed now that I do this business and I help young men. So now the purpose of my self-improvement is specifically that I set personal goals that I come back and report to you guys to help you guys do it. But there is always a big influence in these goals to know that I will be increasing my SMV and I will be attracting better and more women. And if you ever don't admit that, I think you're a pussy. I think you just have such low levels of confidence that you can't say like, yes, I'd like to attract women, because everyone online has this persona like, oh no, me no care about women, me do this for myself. Well, the women are for you, dumbass. So let's move on. Let's talk about what exactly makes up your SMV, what makes up your sexual market value. And there are 4 things. There's looks, money, status, and game. These 4 things build up your SMV. Looks is nice and simple. It's literally just what you physically look like. It's somewhat of the most important factor in terms of just raw attracting a quantity of women. Looks is the most important factor which gets your foot through the door. And the most important factor of looks, the most important characteristic of looks is your aesthetic body, because that's the thing that you've got 10 out of 10 control over. No man has the right to not have a muscular body, unless if he physically can't because of some kind of disability. If you don't have a muscular body, you've got work to do, and you do not get to give any kind of complaints. You don't get to take any black pill or any bullshit up until you've built a 10 out of 10 body. You could be 3 foot tall. You could have a up face, whatever it is. Build a 10 out of 10 body first, then you can give any excuse that you want and we'll all cry with you, but you won't. There is not one single person who builds the 10 out of 10 body and still complains about their genetic limitations. Like, oh, I'm still short, I'm still brown skin. No, when you've built the 10 out of 10 body, you don't need to use any more excuses. I'm tired of, I've seen these fucking depressed guys who don't even lift. They haven't built that body and they're still using genetic excuses. See how far you can go first and then start using excuses, pussy. You can improve different parts of your looks as well. So the body is the main part, and your fashion and certain things like your hairstyle can be improved. That can bring up your points somewhat significantly, because if you're wearing, let's say, weightlifter clothes, you know what I'm talking about, like the weightlifter clothes, like the baggy pants and the big hoodie and stuff, it's not attractive. And generally just have the mindset, just dress like a fuckboy. They've got like the highest SMV. You've got to have your own certain style, but generally, if you think about some kind of Instagram model that you like the look of, generally, if you just try to sort of imitate their outfit and their look and their poses and everything, that will increase your looks significantly. The second is money, and you need to know that money in your bank account does not exactly increase your SMV, apart from just the confidence and the outcome independence it gives you. We can change money to the lifestyle that money buys you, because your SMV certainly goes up when you're making a lot of money and you're traveling the world and you're living in Bali and you're interacting with all of these little Instagram models that are living there too. So if right now you're in the minimalistic lifestyle, which I currently am, and you're not spending so much money, you need to understand that your lifestyle is unattractive to the majority of women, because most women like to spend money. Most women who are on Tinder and Instagram, they like to go out for drinks. They like to just go and spend £500 a month on like social shit, because 1, the experience is somewhat nice, but mostly 2, they get to go there and take pictures for social media, and that's where they get their validation. If you're a guy who doesn't do that, which you don't have to get these girls, but if you're a guy who doesn't do that, you have to understand that there is a trade-off, that you are saving money, but you are right now sacrificing the attraction from the majority of girls who are into this lifestyle. So status is a very interesting one, and I'm going to give you a case study. There's a YouTuber, like 2 guys who run this YouTube channel, which I really like. They're very entertaining, and they're one of like the few people whose videos I still watch on this dopamine detox. And they did a video, I'll try and find it for you guys, where I was watching it and I was like, this is like a high status motherfucker. So if you watch the video, I'll link it below, and I'll have like a little clip of it up, right? I'll just steal a clip of them right now. And the YouTube channel is called The Minorities. They're like these sort of like comedy style YouTubers who are just kind of like standard fuckboys. They'll like talk to girls and everything in their videos, and at one point like they go into parties and everything. And they're pretty big in this one area in America that they live in, and that's like, you know, all their vibe is there. And so they go to like a beach party, and everyone around them, like so many people know them, and to the point that they're like so many people coming up to them, taking pictures with them. That's high level status. And you can see a few times where the guys who run the channel are speaking to some girls, and some other guys run up like, oh my God, is that the minorities? Oh my God. If that happens, that's this instant attraction right there. Now that is, let's say, top tier. And that is, honestly, it is achievable. Like we can't, no one could say that's unachievable for anyone, because you can get status, you can get popularity and fame from anything these days. Like from playing chess, it's the exact same thing. Anything that you choose can give you status. It just boils down to a couple of characteristics in the area that you've chosen. So one is how do you say that word? Competency. Like being good at the thing. So that's the easiest one is, okay, you'll get status in basketball if you're good at basketball. That's straightforward. But the other ones are social skills, because you'll get status in a certain area like basketball if you are the very, very friendly guy who everyone loves speaking to. And so then let's say you enter the basketball practice and everyone's running up to you to give you a fist bump, and that's status right there. You can build status. I know it seems unobtainable. Just over a year ago, I had essentially zero status. I was living a very hermit life. I was smoking weed all day. I hadn't been going outside. Right now, my status has skyrocketed over the last few weeks, especially. So when I check my phone and I'm next to a girl and I've just on the date with her, like for 2 hours, I've gotten 70 emails, and I could go through my comments, and my YouTube analytics says 99 plus, and my Discord has 100 new messages, and my WhatsApp and my Instagram now, because I've started sending my boys from YouTube to Instagram. My Instagram is flooded with messages to the point that I don't even have enough time to reply to them all. That's a good level of status. And I built this in 1 year, and I haven't even purposely been doing this for status like at all. It's just kind of like a side effect of doing something like YouTube, and you just kind of become a person who's somewhat attracted to people, and everyone wants to come and watch your stuff on every platform that you go onto. Imagine as things keep progressing that I'm on a date in a few months and someone runs up to me and they're like, oh my God, Hamza, I'm in your cult, Hamza. Like that's instantly going to be attractive to the, like, she's going to be wondering like, wait, what? Like, is he a celebrity? Who's this? Like some random guy just came up to him, and you have full control over something like this. So pick your interest, the area that you've got an interest in, and gain some status there. And so you can purposely build status in something like YouTube and Instagram and, you know, whatever kind of creation that you're doing. But you can also increase your status there and then, because status is somewhat long term. It means people really know you. But I've been able to hack the status realm through social skills again, but in a different way, where there and then on the first time that I'm meeting someone, I can speak to them in a very friendly way that gets them to open up. Like the smallest amount, it's when the same thing has happened. I'll tell you the exact situation where I go for cocktails, I go for drinks with girls from Tinder, and before I even meet them, when I'm taking the train to meet them, I already start approaching people. I start approaching girls and I'm complimenting them, and I approach a guy and I say this and this and this. I'm speaking to as many people as possible before I even get there. I call this, well, my old friend calls this social lubrication. He'd run up to people and he'd say, bro, I'm just getting lubed up. Like he'd just run up and like say stupid shit because he'd get him warmed up for when we were actually inside the club. And so I've carried on the same thing, that when I'm going to meet a girl, I speak to at least like 5 people beforehand. But even when I meet her, I'm still going to speak to other people while she's next to me. And so the same thing has happened with a couple of girls where they've said the exact same word, which is, you seem like you make friends everywhere you go. And that is status. So the most recent date I went on, she was a few minutes late. There was like a group of youths. They looked like maybe they were 16, 17, and they were just kind of chilling, smoking. So I went up to them, just started speaking to them. And I just literally chatted pure shit with them. I was like, boys, how long would you wait if a girl was late? And one of the guys jumped out. He's like, 45 minutes. I was like, nah, I'm not a loser, bro. I've got shit to do. Like, and then I asked the girls, they were like, yeah, 10 minutes. And I went, oh, like she's 9 minutes late. And they were like, okay, give her like 5 more minutes. You can sit with us. So I'm sitting with them, we're chilling and everything. So the girl who I'm going on a date with comes, and she sees me in like a group of people. Obviously, she's a bit shy about it. Like, wait, has he brought a group of friends to the date? But obviously, you know, I go speak to her. And then similar things happens throughout the night where I'm doing extra, like I'm saying extra to strangers that she probably wouldn't be used to. So I sat downstairs, we're having a drink, and I see like this couple, like they were being proper cute, sharing a drink together, and this other couple walked past us. So I wave at the guy, fist bump him and said, bro, you and your girl are so cute. And I fist bump his girl as well. And my girl who sat with me is like proper looking, like she's never seen a guy just speak to someone so random like that. And again, the third place we go to, because obviously you do like a lot of venue hopping if you know what you're doing on a date. Instead of just, ordering the drinks and just being normal with it, after we have the drinks and the cocktail was peng from this one place, I take it up to the bar and fist bump the bartenders and say, bro, that was literally the pengest cocktail I've ever had. Come back, sit back down. And she's literally in awe. The girl I'm with is literally in awe that I'm speaking to so many people. That seems like I've got instant status, even though I didn't exactly have status in that area. And now, on the off chance that I go again to these same places, and on the off chance that the same people are there, let's say the same bartenders there, they might even remember me. They might not, but they might do. And that's going to be even more status. So a lot of status doesn't actually have to be preemptively built. It can just be built. It can be grown today through good social skills. At the very least, just kind of having a very small chit chat with the people around you. The fourth and final thing that makes up your SMV is your game. And game is like your social skills, but for dating and intimacy. That's the best way that I would say it. It's a little bit cringy if you look for advice online on the YouTube videos. I don't watch any of like relationship videos. I don't watch like infield pickup. And I find that shit very, very cringy. The way to think about game is to think about how smooth, flirty, and sexy you are. The more you have those three characteristics, the higher your game is. And so most guys, of course, have low game because they aren't smooth, they aren't flirty, they aren't sexy. They're too held back for that stuff. I'm going to give you the unsexy answer right now of how I improved my game. I did it through copying. I did it through emulating. I didn't really know, I knew the basics of game. I knew the basics of of infield pickup dating, but it wasn't until I went to university, the same guy who taught me about social lubrication, this was a smooth black guy. This was a guy who had game. I learned from him. I learned from just sort of emulating the way that his vibe was, to the point that now it's just become the type of person I am, because you spend time with someone, you're at the average of 5 people you spend time with. And so I remember the early days when I was hanging with him, sometimes I would be interacting with a girl and I'd almost automatically envision how he would kind of do something in that area. And so I would not exactly copy it completely, but I would at least, keep that in mind to influence what I was going to do. And because he had good game, my game level automatically went up with it. That's the easiest way that I found, is to literally just look at a guy who you think is smooth, flirty, or sexy, see him sort of the way he interacts, the way he speaks, and just kind of copy that vibe. So now you know exactly what comprises your SMV, your sexual market value. So if you've had this feeling that you're not attracting the number of girls or the quality of girls that you want, which, let's be honest, you have, like pretty much every guy has this, like most guys have this feeling, especially if they're young. It's simply because of your SMV. This should put you in a very positive mind state, because all of the things I've said can be heavily improved. It's only your SMV that's holding you back. And your SMV comprises the 4 major things: looks, money, status, game. You have complete control over them. Now, of course, the black pill spurgs will say, oh, but looks are genetic. Shut up, bro. Looks are genetic. Who cares? If you can't change it, why are you thinking about it? Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting my time. Focus on something you can change. And the things that I've mentioned, you have complete control over them. If you've been finding yourself not very attractive to women, it's literally just because your SMV is too low. You need to have the humility to understand that your SMV is not supposed to be high. Look at the graph one more time. It's supposed to be low right now. Now, you can guarantee that it stays low for the rest of your life with a negative mindset, like I see the majority of guys doing. Or you can guarantee that your future self gets to enjoy the fruits of your labor today, that you can plant the seeds for your future self, that so he gets to experience this peak. That's completely under your control. I see too many guys giving up at this age because it's hard right now, and they don't even realize that it's supposed to be hard right now. Your value is so damn low at this point because you just haven't done anything. You spent your entire life in the education system, and getting the degree doesn't increase your SMV unless it's like a very good STEM degree, which most people don't have. So you've spent your entire life on a pursuit that doesn't actually increase your SMV. So now you're out of the education system, or maybe you're still in it, but you've got, you're somewhat of an adult. You're not exactly a man right now. You're still a little boy. But you're still new in this life of transitioning into a man. Your SMV isn't supposed to be high right now. And if you let that negatively impact you and you say, oh, it's too hard to get girls, and you just give up and you just adopt a negative mindset, you'll never improve. You'll never guarantee that huge peak in the future. And I think now that I've explained it like this, hopefully you adopt the same mindset as me and the same attitude as me, where you start to realize like it's completely your responsibility. It's on you. Like, you deserve the amount of women that you have in your life. And if there's no women who like you right now, it's because you deserve it. And yes, I just said something so horrible. I said you deserve to be lonely. But the thing is, you kind of do. Because your SMV is what you bring to the table. I want you to take a second to stop being so selfish and now think about it from the woman's perspective. Why would she want to date you? That's what all these little cretins, these little incel, like, you know, the crusty bedsheet type of guys who go onto YouTube and write all these comments. That's what they've never even once had the empathy to think about this, to think, what does the woman gain from dating a guy like that? Like, this is why the black pill is fundamentally flawed, is because those guys who take the black pill are so damn ugly, but not in the physical realm. Like, they're usually never even that ugly, like facially or anything. It's always because of their attitude. Is because if they dated a woman, she would be repulsed to be around them. Like, I feel dirty watching their videos with the fucking, like, the attitude that they have towards life. Take a step away from your own body and your own mind and think about what a woman really wants. Like, she wants a high SMV guy. And that's not shallow of her. That's a very, like, respectful woman would openly admit that, yes, she wants a guy who she's attracted to. She wants a guy who takes pride in his appearance. She wants a guy who's financially successful and financially confident, because she probably is too. She wants a guy who's got status. That she'd love that. She's doing well in her own social circle too, and she'd like a guy who's also got his social circle, who's doing something, who's maybe got a business and he's got like business partners and everything. She wants a guy who seems confident and laid back, who isn't weird, he can flirt, and he makes her feel sexy. So what do you bring to the table? Because I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to have some humility with you right now. I did a calculation. I did like an autistic level calculation of going in detail of my SMV, my looks, money, status, and game. And after doing all of the calculation, it took me like 2.5 hours. I realized that my SMV is currently 4.8 out of 10. My SMV is currently 4.8 out of 10. Obviously, my body is the main characteristic of what builds it up. But I realized that that's about as much as I have. Yeah, you know, you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people, but if you just compare yourself to me right now, and chances are, because you're watching my video, you're learning from me, you've adopted the frame that you're my student and I'm somewhat of the leader, chances are that I am better than you. Let's just not sugarcoat. Chances are that it is. If I wasn't better than you, you probably wouldn't be watching my videos. You're watching me because my body's better than yours. Maybe my mentality and my drive and everything's better than yours. I'm a 4.8 out of 10. Now, we can climb. We can guarantee that we'll be 7 in a couple of years, and maybe 8, and maybe we'll reach 9. Probably not 10, because everything has to be perfect for you to become a maximum 10 out of 10. But there's no reason why you can't reach 80% of your maximum potential. The only reason is that you're just being lazy because you've got a bad mindset. Just keep that in mind. I am currently a 4.8. We're not supposed to be very successful with girls right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.